Thinking about East Tennessee and wondering what can you afford based on your income? We are going to check out areas surrounding Knoxville based on your income. What areas might you consider and what can you afford? Let's get going. So first of all, we're going to talk $40,000. If that is your income, then you can afford about a $1,200 a month monthly payment, and you have income around $3,333. Several areas that fall into this category. So this would be a listing or sell price of $187,000 or less. Some areas to consider. Number one, I want to highlight is Rogersville. So Rogersville is a town that is northeast of Morristown, past Cherokee Lake. It sits kind of between Morristown and the Tri-Cities, which makes it appealing because you're accessible to Morristown, but also to Bristol, Johnson City, etc. It was actually settled by Davy Crockett's parents, which is pretty historically cool. It has a cute downtown. Like I said, it's close to Cherokee Lake. As far as accessibility to stuff, it does have a Walmart, so that's a plus. It has public water, and about 50% of the houses there are going to have public sewer. So you're not going to be on well water, but you may have a septic tank. So other areas of note under that $187,000 price, which you can afford at $40,000 income, are Jellico, which Jellico is as far north you can go before you hit Kentucky. You would be going into Williamsburg, Kentucky in order to get groceries, most likely. That's about 13 miles north of the Tennessee state line. And then Mosham. Mosham is one that is just southeast of Morristown, and that's another little kind of area. It's not even really a town, it's just a location. But if you see that, their average sale price is $186,000. So that would put you right at that $187,000 max purchase price. All right, $50,000. With an income of $50,000, your max purchase price would be $239,772. So this means that you would need to be basically at $239,000. Your monthly income is $4,167, monthly payment at $1,500. So areas that are kind of between the $40,000 to $50,000 average sale price, number one to consider is Philadelphia. Philadelphia is an area that is west of Knoxville, like west of Knoxville, down I-75, and it is great because it's accessible to places like Chattanooga, Athens, like it's kind of down that corridor from Knoxville to Chattanooga. Think rural, think lots of land. You are likely going to need to make sure that internet service is reliable and available for one, and that it's reliable. As far as property there, as far as what it's accessible to, your closest Walmart, and I'm using Walmart because that's an indication that there's like other stuff around, and that's probably going to be your best option for groceries in that area. 8 miles away in Sweetwater. And then septic and well water are likely. You will probably not have access to public water or public septic, but a lot of people like this area because it is so rural, but you're still 8 miles to Sweetwater, and you're about 30 minutes to get to Lenore City. So it's not so far out, but it does feel very rural. Other options in this $40,000 to $50,000, $239,000 max listing price, Tazewell. This is northeast. It's past Cherokee Lake. Beware of internet. There's great land there, and it's a sister to New Tazewell. Another area to consider is called Russellville, and their average purchase price is $189,000. So this would be, if you're in that $45,000 a year annual salary range, Russellville could be a good option for you if you're wanting to be close to Morristown, as well as, accessible to the lake. So that could be a great option. All right, let's go up to $60,000 income. So $60,000 income, we're looking at properties between $239,000 to $287,000 sell price, a monthly income of $5,000, and a monthly payment around $1,800, and that would be at the $60,000 mark. So properties that fit in that $239,000 to $287,000 window, or areas, I should say. Number one I want to highlight is Greenville. Greenville people love. It is in Greene County. It is actually the second oldest town in Tennessee. Public water is available. Public sewer is iffy. It is, a quaint, it's kind of almost like a little quintessential Tennessee town. They've got, a cute downtown. It's also the home to Tusculum University, which is one of the nation's oldest universities and is the oldest university in the state of Tennessee. The great thing about about Greenville is that because it has Tusculum University in it, it's got some more stuff. It's got a food city, it's got a Walgreens. And also a positive about Greenville is you're about 30 minutes from Johnson City. So it is pretty far east, but you are accessible to the Tri-Cities, which gives you a lot of options. And you're also not too far from Morristown. So from a perspective of hospitals and accessibility to stuff, Greenville is great. It is super quaint, really, really cute town. And their average sale price is $279. So that hits you right at that $287 max price point if you're at a $60,000 a month income. Another one to consider is Sweetwater. Sweetwater is a suburb kind of-ish of West Knoxville. So it is, I say it is west-west. So the average sale price in Sweetwater is $283,000. So remember, at that $60,000 a year income mark, we don't want to go over $287,000 sale price. That being said, at $283,000, which is your average sale price in Sweetwater, it's a good option because it's a smaller town, but again, you are super close to West Knoxville, to Lunar City, and you're also close to Athens. It's not necessarily halfway between Knoxville and Chattanooga, but you do have accessibility to get to Chattanooga, which is awesome. Something that's super cool about Sweetwater is it is home to the Lost Sea, which is the United States' largest underground lake. So it's got some cool stuff going on. It has a cute downtown. It has a Walmart. It is largely on public water, and about 50% of properties currently listed, so we can take that as a sample size, have public sewer. There is not really any new construction going on there. And those that are one-off builders. It's not as if a big box builder is building there. Another thing that's great about Sweetwater is you are 34 minutes to the Costco. And I'm saying that because that's just an example of you are super close relatively to Farragut and to all that it has to offer. I've actually had clients that have purchased in Sweetwater because the price point at $283,000 average sale price is much cheaper than what you're gonna get in the Farragut area. So these clients, they work in West Knoxville, but they didn't want to pay West Knoxville prices. So they ended up purchasing in Sweetwater and they've loved it. So other honorable mentions in this $50,000 to $60,000 income range are Morristown, which is near Cherokee Lake, Oliver Springs, which is north of Oak Ridge, Rockwood, which I'm going to get to in a minute, and then Rocky Top is north of Knoxville, and that is close to North Lake. So those are some other honorable mentions in the $50,000 to $60,000 price point. All right, what about $60,000 to $70,000? So this would consider at a $70,000 income, your max price that you want to purchase at is $338,297. At that max price point for $70,000 income, you're looking at a mortgage payment of $2,100 a month, or monthly payment, which includes your mortgage, your insurance, etc., and then your income of $5,833 a month. So what areas fit into that price point? Number one, I want to highlight is Morristown. Morristown is really one of your biggest towns outside of Knoxville, outside of the immediate Knox metro area. Towns outside of the Knox metro area that are immediate to them would be Oak Ridge, Lenore City, and Maryville. But Morristown is about an hour east of downtown Knoxville and is a good option because it's close to Cherokee Lake, it is close to the Tri-Cities, and it's got a lot of development happening. We've got box builders building there, such as D.R. Horton, and it has an average list price at $309,000. So that is the average sale price, $309,000, which means if your income is $70,000 and your target or max price is $333,000, it is well within that range. And actually some things I want to consider, or you to consider when you think Morristown, think also Talbot, Jefferson City. They are all kind of in the same category, White Pine. So if you see those, Jefferson City, Talbot, White Pine, those are all Morristown adjacent and could be great options. What is great about Morristown is it is accessible to Knoxville, as I said. Also, Morristown does have a true downtown. They have an overhead sidewalk. And something interesting that I found as I was doing my research, which my family is from Morristown. Like I have aunts and uncles that still live there. both my parents are from Morristown. I've spent a lot of time in Morristown and I never knew this, but they are get this. Morristown is Tennessee's disc golf capital, which is shocking to me. But apparently they've got 4 championship disc golf courses. So if you've got to move somewhere, if your requirement is they got to have good disc golf courses, Morristown it is. Decision decided. So when it comes to Morristown as well, you're likely going to be on public water and you're likely going to be on public sewer. So in terms of utilities, it is a good option as well. And internet is not going to be like, you're going to be able to find reliable internet in Morristown. So a second one in this $70,000 income, $338,000 asking, or list price, I should say, is Harriman. And some people who know the area are gonna be like, really, Haley, Harriman? And here's why. So Harriman has a average sale price of $295,000. So we are well within that max $338,000 if you're making a $70,000 a month income. I like Harriman because it is west of West Knoxville. It is an alternative to Oak Ridge. It is far more rural and you're gonna pay a lot less for water frontage than you would pay in West Knoxville. But you are still super accessible to West Knoxville. You're super accessible to Oak Ridge. I have some clients that purchased a beautiful 15-acre property on Watts Bar Lake. And I mean, it's stunning. And they chose that area because, well, first of all, the property was stunning, but also they were working in Oak Ridge. And Harriman is right up 40 and super accessible to Oak Ridge, to the National Lab. It is a good alternative, again, to West Knoxville. You're outside of all the hustle and bustle, but you could easily take I-40 right into Lovell Road, right into Campbell Station, which are the big Farragut exits, and you're accessible to the Costco, to Cherokee Creek, to all those options. So to me, Harriman at a $295,000 average sale price is a lot of bang for your buck and a lot of ideal location. I've also included Harriman because it is sister to 2 areas, Kingston and Rockwood. Now, all of these, I will say this, you want to be careful about internet and you want to be careful about public water, public sewer. For the most part, within Harriman, when I pulled listings, public water is likely, public sewer is about 50-50. And current new construction, 7 out of 37 listings are new construction, and most of these were one-off builders. So you're gonna see more. You're gonna need to, if you're thinking Harriman, if you're thinking that area, then you're gonna want to find land and a builder. You're likely not gonna find, someone developing a subdivision in Harriman. Other locations of note that would work for the $60,000 to $70,000 income range are Bean Station with an average sale price of $335,000. That is just past Morristown. Blaine, Clinton. Clinton is super popular. It is kind of northeast of Oak Ridge and is close to Norris Lake. It has a cute little quaint downtown. Jacksboro, think Norris Lake. La Follette, think close to Norris Lake. Jefferson City sits in this window as well. So those are some options up to $70,000. Also New Tazewell and Talbot. So let's move on. What about $80,000? So if your income is $80,000, your max sell price would be $392,000. And that would mean you have a monthly income of around $6,667 and a monthly payment of up to $2,400. So in this $70,000, so our max $70,000 income was $338,000. So we've got $338,000 to $392,000 to have a property within this $80,000 a year income. So now this is where we start getting closer into Knoxville at this $80,000 max price of $392,000. 2 options to consider are Alcoa and Oak Ridge. So I'm going to highlight these 2 and give you some honorable mention. So Alcoa is the sister to Maryville. It is the home to McGee Tyson. Alcoa's average sale price is $353,000. So this would put you of an annual income around $75,000 because again, your max price is $392,000 at $80,000 a year salary. I think Alcoa is excellent. It is a great option if you are working in Knoxville, maybe for whatever reason you don't necessarily want to live in Knoxville. Alcoa is a small place comparatively to even Maryville and Knoxville. You pass through Alcoa to get to Maryville. It does have highly regarded schools. And in Alcoa, you're going to be paying taxes for both Alcoa City as well as Blount County. So if you're anti-paying double taxes, just know that. The schools, as I said, are highly regarded. And this is one of 2 places that I'm going to tell you if you are into like Friday Night Lights and high school football, Alcoa I mean, that's one of two, and you can probably guess what the other one is. Oh, I won't spoil it right now. All right, so average, again, I said sale price is $353,000. Alcoa, you are now getting into this area where you have accessibility to really everything because you're so close to Knoxville. You know, think 25 minutes to Costco, if that, on a bad day. So it's a great place. It's beautiful, and it's kind of the gateway to the Smokies without going into Sevierville, Pigeon Forge. I will say, when you are looking in Alcoa, beware of airplane noise. If some people love airplane noise, and I've told people that, like, they've looked at a property and it literally sits right next to the airport. For me, I'm not into it, but for them, they don't care. Like, one was a pilot, so he doesn't care about airplane noise because he loves it, right? So that's just something to do. I would Google map it. If you're looking at Alcoa, check out your Google Maps. Number 2 in this price point. So remember, under 392,000, above 338. So we've got a little play here. A second option is Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge average sale price is $373,000, and Oak Ridge is another true Knox Metro, just right outside Knox County. It is sister to Knox County. It is seated in Anderson County. Oak Ridge is a good option if you are wanting, again, accessibility to everything, but for whatever reason, maybe you don't want to be in Knox County schools. Oak Ridge Schools is a very highly regarded school district, and it is super well connected with the National Lab, you know, all the science happening that relates to that. So current new construction, currently listed 66 properties, 10 of those are new construction. We do have builders, big box builders, I should say, in Oak Ridge, and those include D.R. Horton and Smith Built. Another great thing about Oak Ridge is you've got Melton Hill Lake. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything I wanted to tell you. So the other thing that's cool about Oak Ridge is you have such a diversity of housing, from properties built in the 1940s that are literally like a certain type, like an A house, a B house, a C house, because they were part of the Manhattan Project and the housing of people that were related to the construction of the atomic bomb. So you've got a lot of history there, but then you've also got, you know, gorgeous luxury homes. The other thing I want to point out to you with Oak Ridge is you're going to be paying Oak Ridge city taxes as well as Anderson County taxes in most places, and they tend to be a bit higher than what you would pay Knox City and Knox County. So just want to throw that out for you. Again, Oak Ridge is a really good option. It's super accessible to pretty much everywhere that you want to get to. Some honorable mentions in this $70,000 to $80,000 salary range are Cosby at $391. Think Mountainy Kingston, which is in that Harriman, Rockwood area, but it's a bit higher at that $365 price point. New Market, average sale price at $349. That is just east of Knoxville, I should say, and then Strawberry Plains, which is this kind of synergy of Knox, Sevier, and Jefferson counties. A bit more rural. A third one, actually, I do want to point out for you as I'm looking at my notes in this $80,000 max price is Seymour. And I've created a ton of content on Seymour because it is where I personally live. Check out the drive-through videos, check out the pros, the cons, how life really is. Seymour, average sale price is $361,000. Seymour is a good option if you're wanting accessibility to the mountains, to Sevierville, to Pigeon Forge. You're close to Maryville, but you are going to be traveling likely outside of town in order to get, you know, bougie restaurants, as I would say. I would also say be careful about internet here, and also you're probably going to be on sewer. Public water is likely, but you're probably going to be on sewer. And as far as new construction, not a ton of development currently going on, although D.R. Horton is slated to build a new neighborhood here, as well as we have a road called Boyd's Creek. So if you were to look on the map, if you were to look on Google Maps and you put Seymour in, and then you look for a road called Boyd's Creek is going to take you from essentially Chapman Highway to the Parkway in Sevierville. And that whole little corridor right there, we do have some new construction going on. Both Smithville and D.R. Horton are building within those areas. So that's something to consider as well. All right, so what about $90,000 income? What is your max sale price? At $90,000, we are now into the $400,000 range. So we're looking at things that are $392,000 to $444,000, $442,971 to be exact. So at $90,000 income, your max purchase price is the $442,971. Your monthly income is around $7,500, and your monthly payment is about $2,700. So again, we're looking to 390 to 442. So what are areas that fit into this? And this is the first time I'm going to mention it. We are now where Knoxville is now accessible. Average sale price in Knoxville is $438,524. Go check out the video that is specific to incomes as it relates to Knoxville and Knox County. Knoxville is huge. It's 30 plus zip codes. So I've done a separate video on Knoxville itself because it is just so huge that you've got zip codes where your income at $40,000 would be acceptable and affordable for you. And then there's zip codes where you would need to be in the $100,000 plus range. So there's a lot of diversity when it comes to pricing in Knoxville. So I just want to point out to you that an average sale price in Knoxville at $438,000 puts you in the $80,000 to $90,000 a year income range. As far as Knoxville itself, just want to point out as well that you've got likelihood of public water, likelihood of public sewer, like 99% on public water and 97% on public sewer. And then also I want to point out to you, since I've mentioned some schools in this process so far, is that Knoxville is the home of the third largest school district in the state of Tennessee. Nashville area is first, then you've got Memphis. Actually, Memphis City might be larger. You've got Nashville and Memphis, and then you've got Knox County as your largest school district. So Knoxville and Knox County schools serves about 60,000 plus students. So it's a huge school district. So just want to point that out to you as well. Now, if we, like I said, go check out the video that is specific to Knoxville and incomes, but just wanted to put that bug in your ear. So we're still in that $80,000 to $90,000 price point. Again, $390,000 to about $444,000 sale price. Maryville fits in this window as well. So Maryville's average sale price is $419,000. Maryville is the sister to Alcoa, as mentioned, a little bit higher of a price point. Maryville City, its schools are very, very highly regarded. And this is the second place that I want to tell you, if you are very into like Friday Night Lights and freaking high school football, this is the place for you. It is hardcore. Maryville City sits within Blount County, and you do have two school options. Also, Maryville City itself is pretty small. And then if you were to look at Maryville as a whole, it is spread out. Maryville is also the gateway to, I say that it's like the back way to get to the mountains. If you were to look at a map if you were to look at Sevierville versus where Maryville sits, you're going through them going to the mountains in two opposite ways. So Maryville, you're going to go through Townsend to get to the mountains, and Townsend is beautiful. And that's one of the things I love about Maryville, because it is so close to Townsend and the Smoky Mountains. Maryville has pretty much everything you need. Target, Ulta, Lowe's, they've got multiple gyms, they've got Publix, like they have pretty much everything. I will say the further you get out of Maryville, the less the likelihood that you're going to have public sewer, and the less likelihood that you're going to have internet, because you could be literally driving for days and you're still in freaking Maryville and all of a sudden you don't have service. It's happened to me a lot. So I will say be aware of that, because it's a little, Maryville, when you're looking at properties in Maryville, can be a little bit deceiving because there's a Maryville address, but it is very far out. As far as new construction, about 31% of current listings are new construction, and this includes big builders like Smith Built, D.R. Horton, and Turner Homes. So you've got a lot of stuff going on. Maryville is really, it's got a small town vibe, if that makes sense, and it's got a little cute downtown as well. So some other honorable mentions when it comes to this $80,000 to $90,000 annual income are Friendsville. This is past Maryville. This is kind of backroads waterfront. 10 Mile, which is west of Knoxville, think Watts Bar Lake, and then also Norris Lake is what you want to think of. All right, now we are going to the $90,000 to $100,000. At $100,000, your max price is $493,770,000. So our max at $90,000 was in the 440. So now we're looking at 445 to about 493. What sits in that range? This assumes that your max income, the income is $8,333, and your monthly payment is around $3,000 at a $100,000 income. So two places I want to mention to you and highlight in this category. Number one, Lenoir City. So Lenoir City average sale price is $462,000. So we are well within that $493,000 max price point. Lenoir City is west of Knoxville, and it is adjacent to Farragut. So some people, if you go as far west as you can to Farragut, Farragut or Knox County and Loudoun County, which is the location of Lenore City, they are neighbors to each other. So some people actually purchase in Loudoun County because it's a cheaper price point than what they would be purchasing in Farragut, but is still super accessible to the Costco, the Turkey Creek, and all those things. New construction, about 30% of listings currently right now are new construction, and this includes builders like D.R. Horton and Cook Brothers and Turner. So Cook Brothers is well known as the builder in Jellico Village, although there are multiple builders in Jellico Village, but Jellico Village is adjacent to Lenore City. It is outside of Lenore City technically, but I want to point out to you that Cook Brothers is a very popular builder within the area. Other things about Lenore City to know is it does have a cute downtown. There's some really kind of cool historic-y looking homes near downtown Lenore City. Most properties listed have public water and 67% have public sewer. There are some gym options, like there is a National Fitness there, and then you've got some other little kind of smaller boutique options. You're going to have likely city taxes and county taxes as you're close into Lenore City, into downtown. Also want to know that Wind River, which is one of the more kind of, it's not a technical retirement community, but it is a golf front, lakefront, similar to Jellico Village, Rarity Bay, Tennessee National. Wind River is technically housed in Lenore City, and it's a luxury, gated community. So this could be a good option for you as well. I think Lenore City, when I think of Lenore City, I just think as an alternative to Knoxville. Not nearly as big, but it is, west, and it is accessible to all the things that West Knox has to offer. All right, other areas of note within this $90,000 to $100,000 price point are Greenback, Kodak, Townsend, and White Pine. All right, now let's get up to the 100 to 115 price point. So at 115, we are looking at a max salary or a max sale price of $569,000. So monthly income $9,583 and monthly payment at $3,400. Why do I keep saying that? $3,450. So areas to consider up to $115,000 would be Loudoun. So this is the Loudoun. You've got Loudoun, and then you've got Loudoun County. So Loudoun County houses Lenore City, but there's also Loudoun, the place. And so this is the home to Jellico Village and Tennessee National, as I mentioned. Your average sale price in Loudoun is $532,000. These would be, if you're thinking, I want waterfront and golf course, then you're going to look at Jellico Village and Tennessee National. You are, as far as water frontage goes, you're looking at Jellico Lake, and Watts Bar Lake. And then you do have some new construction, about 36% new construction, and a lot of that is more luxury type, and a lot of that another builder, again, I want to mention is Cook Brothers. When it comes to public water, about 99% of listings have public water. And then there's some interesting things, especially in Jellico Village, where they have their own. It's technically a septic system, but it's like a public septic. It's not public sewer. They have their own septic situation, sewer going on. So that's something to be aware of. Another one I want to point out to you in this max $115,000 annual income, max $569,000 sale price is Walland. Walland average sale price is $553,000. Think rural mountain town. And when I say town, I mean that very loosely. It's not as if there's like a downtown Walland. This is the home of Blackberry Farms. If you don't know what that is, it's 4,200 acres luxury mountain hotel, like high end. And the same would go for Walland. Walland is, to me, like if you think about like where would a luxury cabin be that I would want to build and it's beautiful, that's not really like VRBO or short term, like luxury to live in, it would be Walland. So Walland, you're about an hour from all the touristy stuff. You're closest to Maryville. You're going to be driving into Maryville probably to get your groceries, etc. But beautiful, beautiful area. Some river frontage, really beautiful area. All right. Also in this price point, actually we're going to go up now to up to 175, because we have some from this like 115 to 175. There's not a ton of stuff in that price point, so we're going to do a 175 max. So I will say that Sevierville fits in this category. Sevierville, if you're making 145 annual income, Your max price point is $722,000. Sevierville is average sale price of $660,000. So that being said, you're well within that 145 annual income. Sevierville, if you are thinking like, I want to be around all the hustle and bustle, then Sevierville is going to be the best option. When I say hustle and bustle, I'm specifically talking about Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. Sevierville is largely residential. Now there is some cabin action, but Sevierville is, I think Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg aren't really like where you want to necessarily live. The great thing about Sevierville is you can be in Sevierville, you could be on Douglas Lake, you're close to Seymour, you're not all into the thick of all the tourist stuff, but you get the accessibility to it, you get the local discounts because you live in the area, so all that stuff, but you've got some more residential options. You are likely on public water, and public sewer is questionable. There are specific neighborhoods that are high dollar I can think of right now that are on well water. So if that's a deal breaker for you, I've had multiple clients where this has been a deal breaker, because even though it is Sevierville and most homes are on public water, some are not, and it could literally be street to street. So just pay attention to that. Other areas of mention at this higher price point that I want to tell you is that it's annual income of $155,000. Your max price point is $773,000 a year. And an area to consider would be Vonore. So Vonore, average sale price is $754,000. This is home to Kahiti, which is technically part of Jellico Village, but it's like 20 minutes outside of Jellico Village, and it is closer to Maryville. So Kahiti is an option if you want golf front, waterfront, then it's just not as big, basically, as Jellico Village. You would consider Kahiti because it is it has, what all the amenities that Jellico Village has. Another option here in Vonore is Rarity Bay, and this is another luxury off-front waterfront property. Make sure that if you're considering this area, you want to check HOA fees, you want to check all the fees involved with being a member. And do you have minimums, for example, that you have to pay do you have minimums to pay is basically what I want to say there. You're largely going to have public water for the most part, and public sewer is not likely. As far as groceries when it comes to Vonore, you are going to be going into North City or Maryville for those things. Vonore has some beautiful land. There are places, again, where internet and cell service are not necessarily accessible. So that being said, that is all kind of major areas up to 155. So if we go all the way up to a $175,000 income, we are now looking at, again, more luxury. If $175,000 would put you at a max price point of $874,000 with a monthly payment of $5,200 and a monthly income of $14,583. Areas to consider in this price point: Louisville. Louisville is an average sale price of $831,000. Think luxury waterfront. My sister actually got married on an estate in Louisville, waterfront, beautiful. I mean, huge yard, water, Watts Bar, like beautiful, beautiful. But Louisville, be careful. Some of these properties sit right under Pellissippi Parkway, and they're loud, but they're close. They're close in. And some of them are off a back road, down in a holler, and you don't even know how you got there. So Louisville, think windy back, or think like you're right underneath Pellissippi, because the way it stretches like this out along the water. But it is certainly luxury waterfront. It is your most luxury waterfront without paying a West Knox or Cherokee Boulevard price. So something to consider there as well. As far as public sewer goes, not likely. Public water is more likely. A lot of custom builds, mostly what you see there, you're not gonna see like subdivisions, and the subdivisions that you do see are custom build. Another similar one, but more rural, is Sharps Chapel. Sharps Chapel, average sale price at $774,000. Sharps Chapel is just past Norris Lake, and again is luxury, but is a rural alternative to a place like Louisville. I do want to also point out that Gatlinburg average sale price is $786,000, but I also want to tell you that don't buy in Gatlinburg. If you are thinking you want to relocate here, my suggestion is to, again, go back and consider Sevierville or Walland, maybe Cosby, potentially Newport. I wouldn't recommend living right in Gatlinburg because it is, one of the #1 tourist destinations in the United States, yearly. So to me, that's not really something I want to be in and all that hustle and bustle. But also just when it comes to like buying groceries, you're gonna have to get out of Gatlinburg to go do that, which means you're gonna have to fight the tourist traffic. So my recommendation is to again, go back, consider something like Sevierville, which has less of an average sale price around $663,000. Because what you're gonna buy in Gatlinburg is gonna be competitive, and your neighbors are not gonna be neighbors, they're gonna be short-term renters for the most part. So that concludes this video. I want to say that I was trying to be as comprehensive as possible, try to give you the most information as possible, but everybody's individual situation is different. So please reach out to us. We would love to chat with you if you're considering moving to the Knoxville or East Tennessee area. We can help you. We can help you, show you around town, let you know what to expect, what are places like. But again, everybody's situation is different, and each of these sale prices, you know, it assumes a 20% down payment. It assumes a credit score of 690 to 719. And then also it is looking at average sale prices, not median. So just want to point that out to you. So questions, concerns, comments, please always give us a call, and we'll see you on the next video.